Today we're making Nashville hot chicken nuggets from scratch. They start with a oven-baked fried chicken nugget. They're so delicious. And then they're tossed in my homemade hot chicken seasoning. My husband and I have lived here in Nashville for almost 4 years. And now after eating all of that hot chicken, attending the hot chicken festival every year, I think I pinned down the perfect recipe to make at home. Let's go make it. First, we're going to begin by preheating our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and lining a baking sheet pan with parchment paper. Next, we're going to grab one large boneless, skinless chicken breast, and we'll cut it into small bite-sized pieces about 1 inch in size. You should get a good amount and then set that aside. Next, we're going to grab 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I like to use unbleached organic, and we're going to add half of a teaspoon of sea salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Just mix that to combine and set that aside as well. In a second bowl, you're going to grab 1 cup of milk. I like to use whole milk, but you could also use buttermilk or any milk of your desire. And then we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. Just stir that to combine, and then we'll set that aside. Next, we'll grab a third bowl, and we're going to add 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, I like to use a homemade sourdough breadcrumb. It's really simple and easy. I'll leave that link down in the description below for that recipe. And then we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground black pepper into this bowl. We're going to mix that to combine, and then we'll set that aside also. Now, to dredge or bread our chicken, you're going to grab 1 piece of chicken. You're going to dip it in the flour mixture. Make sure it's completely coated, and then shake off the excess. And then you'll dip it into the milk mixture. Make sure it's coated completely and wet around the whole thing. Then you'll let the excess milk drip off, and then you're going to place it in the breadcrumbs. Now, when it's in the breadcrumbs, you're going to want to completely coat it, and then you're going to pat the breadcrumbs into the chicken. Helps make sure it's completely coated with all the breadcrumbs. Now, we're just going to repeat this with all of our pieces of chicken until they're completely coated, and then we're going to place them all on the sheet pan. Just make sure they're not touching. Now we're going to pop these in the 425 degree preheated oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Now don't move them while they're baking. You do not need to flip them. I've tried it both ways, and the best way is to just leave it. They'll get crispy on the top and the bottom. So let's go do that. Now while the chicken is baking, we're going to make our hot chicken seasoning. So we're going to grab a small mixing bowl and add 4 tablespoons of avocado oil. I don't recommend substituting this. 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, not smoked, just regular, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, not garlic salt, half of a teaspoon of chili powder, make sure it's salt-free, and 1 teaspoon of dark brown sugar. You could also use light brown sugar, and I like to use a brown cane sugar for a more wholesome option. Now we're going to stir to evenly combine and set this aside. After the chicken is baked, we're going to remove it from the oven and place it in a large mixing bowl. Next, we're going to drizzle the seasoning mixture over the chicken. It soaks into the breading really fast, so quickly you want to stir it around to evenly coat everything. It can take a few seconds since it's not a sauce. It's an oily mixture of seasonings, and then you'll want to serve it immediately and enjoy. Let's give them a quick try. They look spicy. Those are so good, and they have the perfect heat. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so glad I could bring a taste of Nashville, Tennessee to your kitchen table. I hope you love these as much as we do. I absolutely love serving these with a side of homemade mac and cheese. I like to do some mashed potatoes sometimes. You could do grits, you could do cornbread. The options are limitless, but the mac and cheese is our all-time favorite. Until next time, go serve God by loving your family one recipe at a time.